kumamalo, ontisalayo kumamalo, ontisalayo kumamalo, ontisalayo kumamalo, ontisalayo kumamalo, ontisalayo kumamalo, babe, ontisalayo. Tati wathi ewe. Natuthini ke ngomnazo bathi I sing umama lobe phala lengwathi I sing umama lobe phala lengwathi Tabi kumama ngethethi esanala Tabi kumama ngethethi esanala I sing umama lobe.
Now, very few artists in the country are able to announce their concerts only for the tickets to be sold out hours later or amass 100,000 views on a snippet of a song. Well, we could attribute this to his roots in the choir, the honesty in his delivery, or his ability to effortlessly marry Xhosa folklore and culture. One thing that we know for certain is that we are going to be consuming his music years from now. Well, we are referring to maverick composer, songwriter, trumpeter and vocalist Mandisi Dyantyis, who has just released his second album. It's titled CWAKA, and he joins us on Zoom to tell us more about the latest project and, in fact, his musical journey. Mandisi, thank you so much for talking to us. I mean, take us back to your first experience with choral music and what was happening at that time.
Good morning, and thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here. Before I knew it, I was in it.
Yeah.
Choir and singing and singing with people happened so early in my life because I was the youngest at home. So I was just mimicking people when I started. And so by the time I knew what I was doing, I'd been doing it for a bit.
Now, I mean, how has culture, or the way you call it, choir psychology, shaped the person that you are today?
It's everything. It's in a grouping, especially in a choir grouping, the focus is to create uniformity. So it's not about an individual, because an individual can ruin it. So you need to be a team player, but you need to also be, good yourself and know exactly what's going on. And so I think that's what I try and carry. I try and carry a wholesome person as an individual, but a person who can work with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Now, take us to how the trumpet then finds its way into this, colorful musical journey and space.
It's my sister. My sister started playing in church. And so I wanted to do everything that she wanted to do when I was young. I used to irritate her a lot. And so, like everything, I just got into it. By the time they knew I could play and I was playing with them, I was probably 8 or 9. By the time they realized that, oh, he can play actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the decision to marry these two. And at what point in your life did you then decide, no, man, I can play the trumpet, I can bring in this choral aspect that shapes who I am and make them into one package, that is Mandisi?
In South Africa, that's easy. We had Prahu, we had Prahu who'd been doing it. So the model of doing that was already set for me. It was just how I would do it as myself and where I came from. So the stories and who I was and the experiences of my people and the experiences of where I come from and my experiences started playing a part then in just trying to shape myself, and give my product and my story the authenticity that it deserves.
Mm-hmm. Now, let's fast forward. Here's Somandla, and you're releasing this. You're releasing the debut album. What space are you in at that time when you decide to release Somandla?
Somandla comes at the time where we'd been playing these songs. We've literally been playing these songs in concerts around the country, and we have no recording. And the audiences are going, we need something. We need to take this music home. Come on. And I'm going, I don't have plans of recording. And so a guy who owns the studio, Murray, bless his heart, goes, buddies, you have to actually do this thing. And we are literally recording the album for those audiences, for the 60 people who come to our concert, or the 50 people. And Somandla takes its own course, and it becomes a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what challenges came with that? I mean, I can imagine it presents its own challenges because you weren't ready to necessarily record an album and put it in an album form.
Yeah, I mean, funny enough, we thought we were going to face a lot of challenges, but we had forgot that we'd been preparing for the moment for 3 years already, you know, with the band, because that's the same band I went to the studio with. And so when we went to the studio, all we needed to concentrate on was the stories of the songs, literally. We needed to remind ourselves why I wrote the songs and what the stories, what stories were they telling. And once we got that right, the energy in the studio, the album just literally recorded itself, you know. And I think that's what people gravitated towards, because we really worked hard in trying to keep the essence of the stories, because the songs themselves are not, I mean, are all right, they're fine, they're good, but the stories they carry are much more important even than the songs.
And what are those stories about? What essentially is at the center of these stories that so many people can resonate with?
It's stories of life, it's stories of weakness, it's stories of trying to find hope, trying to find strength. It's stories of realizing that certain things have not happened to just yourself, happening to us. It's stories of love. It's stories of lust, you know, and everything in between. It just takes moments in life, you know, and tries to capture it in a way that everybody understands and everybody goes, ooh, I've been through that. I understand that feeling, you know, and that's what I try to write about. I try to write about life current, things that affect me in every facet of my life.
Now, I want to talk about the second album, CWAKA. I mean, what is the inspiration behind this second project?
Ooh, CWAKA was tricky. CWAKA was tricky.
Yeah.
I really did not want to record CWAKA. I really did not want to record CWAKA. I ran away for a very long time. People will tell you that I was just running away. I didn't want to hear it. But what we had done is that we started introducing new songs in our conversation series and in the albums or in the concerts already, you know. And people were like, where's that song? Where's that one? You know, where's that song? We need that song. And so the pressure was just there. But also, we're just come out of COVID, or we're in COVID. And I was saying to people, I don't want to write in that energy. And people were like, okay. And the album that came out with CWAKA carries all of that, carries the heaviness, carries the trying to find ourselves in this situation that we were not used to. You know, the title track says, Zunde nika mandla kuti CWAKA. You know, when things come at you, you know, to be given the strength to just be silent, you know, in the midst of turmoil and actually knowing that things will pass.
Now, and this album also forced you to look into a painful experience in your life where you also, there's a song that you dedicate to baritone Zamile. I mean, talk to us about what he meant to you and what is the significance of his presence in your musical career?
I got into the theater company which I worked for, Isang Ensemble, when I was 19 probably, and I was made the musical director early on, and it was an elder, he was older than me. And he just respected me, first of all. You know, he was a brilliant actor and a brilliant singer, but he just respected me. But he would also show me how to do things and how to lead, because I was a good musician, but I don't think I was necessarily a musical director then. And for about 10, 15 years, I worked with him. You know, I wrote songs for him. I wrote, you know, and he was the funniest person I'd ever met. You know, it would make me laugh all the time. And I remember I lost him early in COVID, you know, when people were still doubting what COVID was and was it happening, was it not happening, and we lost him then. And I could not talk about it. I could not talk about it. People were calling me and I said, I can't talk about it because for me, I don't think he's left yet. And so one day I sat on the piano and the song Zamila just came out, and it was probably in that moment or just after when I realized that I'd lost a huge part of my life. And we had lost a huge part of our lives.
And relationships in this industry are very important. And one other close relationship that you have is with Buddy Wells. I mean, tell us about the nature of that relationship as well.
You know, playing with Buddy is, for me, I look, he's always on my left, you know, most of the times. And I'd look on my left and remember myself coming to Cape Town as a young, probably 17-year-old. And the first concert I watched at the university was Buddy Wells playing with Tribe. And I remember thinking, I want to play with those guys, you know. And now I play with Buddy Wells. I go on stage with Buddy Wells, and he's such a beautiful soul. When Buddy Wells plays, he really transports you, and I'm so fortunate to be playing with him.
All right, Mandisi, such a lovely conversation. Thank you so much for talking to us this morning. Good luck with your career going forward. Maverick composer, songwriter, trumpeter, vocalist, Mandisi Dyantyis, talking to us about his musical journey as well as his latest album titled CWAKA. All right, quick ad break. We're back after this. Stay with us.
This is